Hi, welcome to the Industry Astrology New Moon Forecast for April 11th, 2021. The moon has been waning, the energy diminishing. How are you feeling? The moon is waning, and on April 11th at 7:31 p.m. Pacific Time, the moon conjoins the sun and begins to wax again. Anxious, maybe flustered, on edge, a little maybe, or impatient. New moons are bridge points, whole new beginnings in a lunar cycle. But this new moon has a special energy behind it because it's also starting a whole new season of growth, a new beginning. The sun is growing in strength in the northern hemisphere and is going to transit into sidereal Aries now, where we mark sort of the beginning of the Vedic New Year. The sun's energy now is really growing, right? The life energy is returning to the planet, and there's a lot of potential. So this new moon is actually the new moon that Vedic astrologers often use to predict the entire year to come, the political, economic situations of entire nations for the whole year to come. They'll cast a chart for this new moon in the capital city of a country, or maybe wherever a center point is, to create a chart that predicts the whole year. So I created a chart here for Washington, D.C., since I live in the United States. It's Scorpio rising, and Ketu, the tail of the snake there, with Mars just across, so Mars and Rahu. So it's not going to be necessarily a peaceful time internationally or internally, domestically. But the ruling planet of the star Vishaka, which is rising, the star of purpose, is Jupiter. And Jupiter has just transited into the fourth house, where it's definitely stabilizing and supporting the United States for economic recovery in the year to come. And because this new moon is the Vedic New Year, it is igniting the new Samvatsara. So you may have remembered last year we entered in 2020 the year of Shavari, which is translated as night or twilight, darkness, time in between light and dark. And we are now ending that year and entering the year of Plava. Plava translates as flood, water, like water, or maybe a flowing river, or like a boat floating, it could be, or a water bird. So it's interesting, there's something about maybe going with the flow here, surrendering, maybe more issues around water coming up in the year to come as well as a resource. And as I said earlier, Jupiter has entered Aquarius now, but a much more auspicious place for Jupiter in the sign of the waters as well, Aquarius. And also a sign that things are moving forward in many ways, because Jupiter, when he was in Capricorn, was debilitated and under the heavy rulership of Saturn, the very restricting and rule enforcing energy. Now Jupiter has moved into Aquarius, where he's still under the influence of Saturn, but with much more spaciousness. Because it's an air sign, there's a lot more room right now for inspiration and growth, and to make scientific and systematic improvements in the year to come, especially in the realms of healing and social well-being. There's so much recovery right now as Jupiter moves forward through Aquarius. If you would like to know more about how this auspicious Jupiter transit in Aquarius affects you on a personal level, and how to use this energy in the months to come, this very healing and very innovative energy of Jupiter in Aquarius, which is going to affect the world for a full year. If you would like to know more about it, you should check out my Jupiter in Aquarius class that I taught last week on Zoom. You can still purchase the recording. I'll leave a link in the description window and on my blog, anandastrology.com. This class includes horoscopes for your Vedic sign as well. So we talk about the specific impact Jupiter has on each of the 12 Vedic signs. Now, coming back to the new moon, this new moon is so exciting because everything is just getting brighter now, right? The sun is getting stronger in the northern hemisphere and exalted. And now the moon is passing over the darkest point and beginning to grow again for the rest of April, basically. So it's an exciting new moon of opportunity, new beginnings, expansion, recovery, healing, coming back to yourself. And there's a lot of transformational energy within it as well. This new moon is in the nakshatra of Revati, Revati nakshatra, the very last nakshatra in all the 27 nakshatras. This is the very edge point, the point of endings in the zodiac, where Pisces comes to an end and the last nakshatra of Revati sits. This is a star, a very auspicious star of protection, of nourishment, of spiritual guidance. It's ruled by a deity named Pushan. Now, Pushan is a benevolent deity of the shepherds, of something that protects and guides travelers and anyone who's lost in life, and also protects the spirits who have crossed over to come through the world of the ancestors and into take a new life beyond. So that's why it comes at the very end of Pisces, the end of all things, right? And very highly spiritual star, Revati. So much about nourishment and guidance and protection, and also generosity and charity. This particular new moon point is actually happening right at the very last degrees of Pisces, at 28 degrees there, like just very close to the edge point where it crosses into Aries. And this area of the zodiac in Vedic astrology is called Gandanta. Gandanta means knot, sometimes translated as kind of a karmic knot, where there's just so much transformation. There's so much energy in flux in these areas because it's the deepest area of the ocean of Pisces transforming into the first kind of most fiery, hot beginning of light, right, in Aries. So this area between the fire and the water is a place of enormous alchemy where so much can happen, but it can also be a place of challenge and complication. It's a knot. There's something that we need to disentangle as well. So if around this new moon you're being faced with fear or confusion or situations that seem very complicated, not knowing which way to go, just try to connect with this energy of Pushan. Pushan is there to take you across the Gandanta, this energy of guidance, looking for the signs and sort of symbols that the universe gives us to direct our path forward. Because there's so much momentum now in the weeks to come to grow and expand and recover, to come back to a healthier routine, to maybe just come back to yourself more and who you truly are. Another really auspicious thing that's beginning on this new moon is the Chaitra Navaratri, to call in the power of the goddess, the divine feminine, as a form of healing and protection, to connect to this waxing, growing energy of life and inspiration to move us forward. Okay, so let's just see what the tarot cards have to say about this powerful new moon, the Vedic New Year, and this transformational point in Revati Nakshatra. Okay, well, wow. Yeah, we definitely have a new fire beginning here with the Emperor. This is literally Aries, the sign of Aries, of new beginnings, of agency, of new fire, of springtime. Taking control, maybe, also. Stepping into something new. And the Princess of Cups. That energy of Pisces. There you see the fish even she's holding, and the water bird above her for Plava, this flow of life, right? And Revati is a very generous energy of charity, as I was saying, of service too, of giving, very innocent. It's called the Lord, Pushan is called the Lord of Animals sometimes, for his love of animals and guiding and protecting others in general, children as well. And the final card, another fire card. So we have a lot of this pure fire water here, and another really powerful one too. This is the Strength card. It has to do with courage and this emerging life force now that we have going forward. But it looks a lot like the goddess, right? She's riding her tiger, Durga. And the power of the divine feminine and this healing force to overcome whatever our obstacles are, whatever is holding us back, our fears, and our disempowering beliefs, the demons that she beheads, she controls. So wow, very powerful reading for this new moon. Check it out. New beginnings, initiating. At a crossroads, it's time to start afresh. A positive change of growth is upon you. The life force of this planet is breathing through you and growing stronger. And there's a healing that comes from deep within. Pass through the threshold between water and fire and find the light of truth that supports all life there. You are protected by a fierce mother that shines like the sun and the moon, that lights your path. She guides you home gently back to your heart, back to who you truly are. Okay, well, thank you so much for joining Anandashri Astrology's New Moon Forecast. My name is Kari Field, and I offer one-on-one Vedic astrology and tarot readings online on Zoom. You can book a session with me easily. I'll leave a link in the YouTube description window below. And also, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to my channel. Get on my newsletter. It's free, and you can get a free little PDF describing what your lunar nakshatra is. If you don't know your birth star, check it out. I'll also leave a link for that below. And if you're disappointed because you didn't get into the Jupiter in Aquarius horoscope class that I just taught, you can still buy the recording on my website. It's a 2-hour recording, and it includes horoscopes for all 12 Vedic signs. I'll leave that also down below. Take care, and I'll see you soon on the next full moon.